In this video, I'll be teaching how to make this spaghetti top with a bow in front. As you see, if you are interested in it, kindly watch till the end. Let's get started. I'm going to be using this fabric and it is folded into two. I made that line over there to serve as a guideline because the edge of the fabric was rough. So I marked 3 inches down and then 3 inches in, as you can see, to create the neckline. So after that, I'll just go ahead and then connect from that point to the other point. Now I'm going to be putting in my shoulder measurement, which is 14. To get the shoulder, you divide whatever you have by 2. Mine is 7, so I just mark the 7 from the center front. And at the 7 point, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. That will give me the shoulder slanting. Come down by 1 inch to get the shoulder slant. So at this point, I'm done with the shoulder. Then I'm going to put in my shoulder to bust measurement, which is 9 inches. So whatever you get for the shoulder to bust measurement, just mark it and then connect with your ruler. After connecting, I'm going to be inserting my shoulder to waist measurement, which is 16 inches. So from the shoulder, I'm going to mark 16 inches down like we did for the shoulder to waist. So just mark whatever you get down like I have done. After marking, go ahead and then connect with your ruler to get a straight line. Now I want to add extra 1 inch to my shoulder to waist measurement plus another 1 inch for folding, making 2 inches because I realized the 16 inches might be smaller or might be shorter on my body. That's why I added extra 1 inch to it and then 1 inch for folding. So now we have our shoulder, our bust, waist, and then the hem of the blouse. So at this point, remember I marked 7 inches, my shoulder measurement. I'm going to mark that same 7 inches on the bust line and then connect the line from the bust line to the waistline. This is to help me create or get my armhole curve. So whatever you get, just divide it by 2. Measure that line and then divide it by 2 minus the shoulder slanting. So whatever you get, come in by ½ inch. And then at that point, go in by 1 inch. After marking the 1 inch, we are going to connect from the shoulder through to the division and then to that 1 inch again. Then blend it to the bust line. Now we are going to insert in our body measurement. So whatever you have for your bust, divide it by 4 and then insert it on the bust line. Whatever you get for the waist, divide by 4 and then mark it on your waistline as you see me doing. So just divide whatever you have by 4 and mark. Now my nipple to nipple is 7 inches. I'm going to divide it by 2 and then mark it on the bust and then waistline. After that, I'm going to connect it with a line as you can see. And then the size of the dart is 1 inch. So at the waistline, just mark ½ inch on both sides and then get 1 inch for the dart. Now the bust dart starts 1 inch below the bust point for the front. So just come down by 1 inch and then mark. After that, connect and then get your dart. So I'm going to be placing the darts at the waistline. Remember it is 1 inch, so I'm going to replace that 1 inch at the waist and then connect from the bust to the waist. I'm just marking 2 lines to make you know I added the bust reduction to it. So now connect to the hem of the dress, the blouse. You can decide to slant it or make it straight. Whatever works for you, just do that. At this point, I'm going to be adding seam allowance to the blouse. So I'm adding 1.5 inches. You can add from 1 to 1.5 inches So whatever works for you, just go ahead and then do that. And make sure you connect the line to the hem. At this point, I'm done with the front bodies, so I'll go ahead and then cut out. Note, I am cutting out with seam allowance at the armhole and then the shoulder. The armhole looks bigger because I'll be trimming the excess after drafting or making the back bodies. We are going to work on the actual dress, that's the spaghetti dress. So from the bust line, just mark 4 inches up. If you want to show more flesh, you can mark 2 inches up or 3 inches up, but I'm using 4 inches. So after marking the 4 inches at the center front, I'll be coming down by 1 inch. This is to get a curvy line from the center front through to the armhole. This is optional. You can decide to make it straight if you want. So at this point, I'm going to indicate the spaghetti strap. So I'm marking 1/2 inch in, as you can see me doing. After marking, just connect the lines together. This is just to show you what the end result of the dress will be like. So the distance from the shoulder down, that is for the strap, is 4 inches. So make sure you measure it and then keep that measurement down because you'll be using it later. So I went ahead to cut out the shape, and note I cut out with seam allowance. After cutting out, I'm going to be working on the back. So I folded another fabric into 2, and then at the center back, I'm going to come in by 1 inch. This is to serve as the zip extension. So after marking my 1 inch, I'm going to connect with my ruler and then place the front bodies on it. So as I have done, I've left the 1 inch there for zip. And then I'll go ahead and then cut out. We are going to use the exact pattern for the back. Unless you want to go down the neckline of the back to go down a bit, you can adjust that, but then I am maintaining it. So after cutting out, I'll go ahead and then take out the front. I divided the back into 2 because we'll be fixing a zipper on the back. So I'll go ahead and then adjust the front, cut out the excess fabric because I added the excess because of the back. You can see the remaining seam allowance is just 1/2 inch. What I'll be doing next is to cut out a facing for both front and then back. So just place the front on another fabric, unfold, and then cut out the shape of the armhole and then the neckline. So after cutting out, we are going to be adding 2.5 inches all round for the facing. 2.5 inches because we'll be stitching 1/2 inch and then the remaining will be just 2 inches. So just mark 2.5 inches like I am doing. Note we are doing that for both front and back, so repeat the same process for the back. So after connecting the line, you're going to get something like this. Just go ahead and then cut out and your facing is ready. Now we are going to be placing it on like this with the strap. So before fixing the facing, make sure you insert the strap. Do same for the back as well. At this point, I went ahead to copy the darts to the wrong side of my fabric. So I went ahead to copy the darts and I'll show you how I did it. One, you can put a pin inside the darts just like this, and then mark the points inside. So after inserting the pin, just mark the points and you're doing same for every part. Another way is to use the tracing wheel. Now I went ahead to cut out my strap. Remember, it's 4 inches on fold, so the length of this is 9 inches. 9 because I'll be sewing ½ inch on both sides, and then I'll get my 8 inches in total. So just fold it like I am doing, and then take it to your machine and stitch. After stitching, I went ahead to sew in my darts, as you can see, and then I'll be putting the straps on. Watch this technique or the process in which I am doing it. Note, don't put it at the edge of the armhole because we added ½ inch seam allowance, so it should be after the ½ inch. The strap should be after the ½ inch. So just like this, pin it there together with the facing, and then take it to the machine and stitch. This is for the front. I'll be showing you how we go or do the back as well. So at this point, we are stitching from the armhole through to the neckline to the other armhole. So I went ahead to stitch, and at this point I'm snipping. This is to enable me turn with ease. So after stitching, make sure you snip. So after turning it out, you are going to get something like this for the front. And at this point, I'm going to be working on the back. So just place the back down like this and put the front on it. I mean with right side facing each other, and then repeat the same process we did for the front. So we left ½ inch at the armhole before placing it on. Don't forget to do that. So at this point, I'm done pinning. I'll just take it to my machine and then stitch. So after stitching, this is what I have. After stitching or joining the straps, this is what I have. And at this point, I'm going to be joining the sides. Note, I added 1.5 inches to the sides. So just fold the facing, hold the facings together like this with the front. You can decide to open it up and stitch or do this process. So I'm done stitching at this point. Then I'll go ahead and then work on the hem or the lower part of the blouse. So I'm going to fold in 1 inch like I added, and then at this point I'm done stitching. So fold in your zip allowance and then go ahead and fix your zip. At this point, I'm going to be working on the bow. So the width is 18.5 inches. You can use 20 inches or however big you want it to be. And then the length is 48 inches. This is folded into 2. So that is it. So I'll be adding stay or violin on one side, so divide it by 2, and then the other half add violin, and the other half don't add the violin or stay to it. So this is just to make it firm. At this point, I'll go ahead and then fold it into 2 like I've done, and then stitch all round. After stitching, I left this tiny hole or space there for turning. So make sure you do that. And then after turning, you are going to close it by stitching. So go ahead and then stitch it to close it. So I'm going to be making the bow at this point. So just hold it and start folding from the side like I'm doing through to the center. Just like this. Just like this. And then I'm going to be securing it or holding it with a piece of fabric I've stitched. So the size of this is about 3 inches. I realize it's a bit bigger, so you can use about 1.5 or 2 inches depending on how big or small you want it to be. So just wrap it on like I'm doing. And then after that, I'm going to be securing the rough edge by tacking. So when you get to this point, just fold about 1 inch or ½ inch in, and then begin to tack with your thread and needle. So take your time and then tack and make sure it is well secured. After tacking, this is what I have, and then note the tacking should be done at where there is the stay or violin, because it gives the fabric some type of effect. I don't know, that doesn't look nice. So after that, you go ahead and then place your bow on anyhow you want it. So when you are done placing it on, go ahead and then tack again. You can decide to use a fabric glue for it, however you want it to be. So tag the center and then tag the sides as well. So after tacking, that will be all for the tutorials. So don't forget to like, comment, and then share my videos. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you get notified whenever I post my videos. This is the final work. Thanks for watching. Bye.